ladies and gentlemen, Boba and Apples here from Otaku Street for the first interview of the first series that I have actually ended. That sounded bad, but oh well, let's continue. However, there will be some rules for these kinds of interviews, especially for any series that I'll be reading, and hopefully some of the writers who, fanfic or not, would reply on the questions or accept it. If not, then I'll just give my thoughts. For now, here's the very first Otaku Street interview for Dash's Little Big Secret. Here are the rules for each interview. Number 1, it will be uncut and unedited. So, for example, Someone to Love. That one I have edited quite a few here and there, mainly because it really doesn't make sense when you read it. That much anyways. Read it no matter what, but still, it's gonna be a little bit hard to read. However, when it comes to these interviews, I will read completely what the author has written back to me, no matter what. Rule number 3, there really wouldn't be too much music. This is literally gonna be one of the easiest ones that I'll do. Just completely make the video out of scratch, and bam, upload it. But these are gonna go for straight on Fridays, no matter what. So without further ado, let's continue. Out of 10 questions, here's the first one. Before we start, here is what Pandaxxus has said. First and foremost, thank you so much for your work and reading of my story. You're welcome. I genuinely appreciate it, as this is the first time anything like this has been done with my work. If you'd like to do anything similar with any of my other work, like Dash's Little Big Problem, go for it. I'm definitely always ready to see what you would be willing to put out. Now to answer your questions. Let us begin. Question 1. When you were writing this story, did you base it off of anything that occurred to you, or any other series that you wish would either end up, or would wish would have shipped the characters you liked? And Pandaxxus' response is, the story/plot in particular wasn't based off of any real life experiences. Apostrophe? No. Except for one chapter, which I will address in a future question, but more inspired by a lot of the Magdash content provided on the site here. A lot of the stories I read based around the ship were really wholesome, and I remember thinking about how things would be in Applejack's perspective, with her brother dating her best friend, and all. I also felt more comfy at the time writing for the Equestria Girl series. That was a lot of thought. The story was eventually the product. And that's actually a pretty good one. Because honestly, after personally reading it myself, I found myself in love with the story and the characters. Because more than nothing really changed. And I mean that in a really good way. Like in other stories where they either make like good example, the main character, Rainbow, a tomboy. In fanfics, they're not to put anything bad out there, but I would honestly say like the Apple, oh there you go, Apple Dash, or what's that one called? One was the Fluttershy. Yeah, with Fluttershy and Rainbow shippings, but not even just those, like Soren and Rainbow Dash. Yes, even those shippings. And let's see, what was the other one? Oh yeah, quite a few Mac Dash ones, like this story. They would change the character so drastically I would actually lose either interest in continuing reading, or I'll just skip the chapter and go to the next one. It sounds bad, but yes, it's true. Like quite a few other stories. But there were so few stories out there, few fanfics, that I actually continued reading the story itself, even though they changed the characters drastically. In a way, it just called out to me, like it's just I just had to continue reading it, no matter what, even if the character was changed drastically, or they were put in a different world, like crossovers, which I'm not big much of a fan of. But in the end, they're still stories. They're still pretty good, but people like me don't want to see or don't want to read the characters' actual characteristics being that much changed. Oh yeah, right to all creations, but still, some people don't want to see that much change. But like I said, right to all creators, do what you want. Just just remember, some people will not be a fan of that much change. In this story in particular, nothing really did change. Like I said, in a good way. The characters were still the way they were, and I honestly, no matter what, I honestly actually did feel that it was a part of the Equestria Girl series. The characters were still the same. They were so lovable. They were still relatable, and honestly, you'll just fall in love with this story. So let's see. For characters, I would go with a 4.5. There's just some changes here and there, and especially for the main characters, but it's still you still accept it because hey, first crush and all, everybody does change no matter what. But overall, like I said, a 4.5. So good right there. Next question. Question 2. The best part about this series was the plot and the characters. They seemed more alive and just had me reading the whole series when I first came across it. How much thought and passion did you put into this story? And have you the support you gained from it? How has it affected you? To which she replied, and yes, Pandaxxus is a she. I gotta admit that I first thought Pandaxxus was a male. That honestly my bad right there. But still, anyways, this was also my first attempt at tackling a full story and plotline. So I put a lot of thought into what was being written and how it was played out. Granted, it had been a few years and I was pretty young when writing. Still am, but point is, I don't have much experience. Quick cut. Same here. Writing my own stories. Oh boy. Here's a great example. When you were a kid, you can write anything you want and it'll make sense. Like if you make like I told my sister and a friend once, you make a clown marry a nun, that will make perfect sense when you're a kid. But when you grow up, you're gonna be like, what on earth was I on? Back to the interview. So that along with it being the first try, does it seem like does make it seem like it was a bit rough around the edges. I definitely did not expect the amount of support that I received given that I received. I definitely I definitely didn't expect the amount of support that I received, given my skills at the time and the ship at hand, but it totally motivated me to continue and finish. I love seeing all the comments predicting what would happen next or giving insight to the characters' decisions. It was genuinely something I enjoyed, and I still appreciate every ounce of support today. Honestly, that's sweet. And yes, no matter the ship, no matter the story, if you write a real good one, you're gonna get the best support in the end. Like me, example, I just couldn't stop reading. Like I didn't really put any good good job or anything like that. Keep continuing because it did say complete, but it was just that good. I had to go straight to the next chapter to say, "Oh my, OMG, what on earth is gonna happen next?" Or, "Oh my God." No, no high school one. No offense to anybody, but yeah. But I was just that interested, and I've that much in love with the story itself that it got me going. And to one of the future questions at hand, oh boys, you probably might hear me cry a little bit, which is bad because I still have to make other readings after this interview. Point is, be prepared. Question 3. When you came across this fandom, did you ship these characters right away? Or was it a particular scene or art piece that made you ship them together? And right after the answer, I will give my point of view of a personal weird story to that. When I first came into this fandom, when I first came into the fandom, I can't say I shipped Macdash immediately due to there being a lack of interaction between the characters throughout the entire series. Quote unquote, it's definitely important, especially for big creators and other ones. To which I'll give an opinion, but I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna like it. But there has to be chemistry. You just can't ship two characters together and just say, "Oh yeah, these are always gonna be together," even though they fight a lot. And yeah, it won't work if there's no chemistry. I'll give after the answer, I'll give my very quickly oh gosh, I hope you all are prepared for what I'm about to say after it. But I did grow to love Macdash due to the contrast in their personalities. After reading from various authors, after reading from various authors and after reading from various authors on the site, like Captain Unstoppable, he wrote a lot and pretty good too. I noticed how the two characters would bring the best out would bring the best out in each other and found myself in a hole. I had chosen Macdash to write about because after gathering inspiration from the many Macdash stories available here, I could only imagine the amount of interactions that could take place within their unique relationship. And yes, it's a pretty unique relationship. Like one good one is to say Daisy and Luigi definitely were quite the opposite, but at the same time it's relatable because Luigi is somewhat brave, but at the same time he's a really coward. I mean, look at Luigi's mansion. But Daisy is like a tomboy, and there's those two still make a pretty cute couple. Although I support Luigi and Peach, and also Mario and Daisy. Don't judge me. But when it came to the end of My Little Pony, I really couldn't ship Apple Dash. Like, I just see them as roommates more than nothing because now here we are before you guys either press the thumbs down button or comments. Lord Almighty, give me strength. Throughout the series, I just saw less like love between them and more like just competing each other. And people say they're like a married couple where they always fight, but here's my opinion on that. If you say that, and honestly, you're like, yeah, every married couple will always fight no matter what. And it's important to have chemistry, and it's important to actually show that yeah they care about each other. I can literally only remember like about 4 or 5 scenes where Apple Dash seemed canon, but more than nothing, they were just competitive or they were just really close friends. And honestly, just I just couldn't ship those two together because it seemed like they would either be unhappy or just always arguing. And to be honest, there's actually I put it on the link too, but there's a story that honestly made me love the Railroad Jack ship, Rarity and Applejack, mainly because of how it was written, but also the what if scenario. For one, it did have the actual ending of how of Apple Dash being canon in it, but it so it was actually talking about like in one part of that story, which was uh which was read by the lost narrator. Like I said, I'll post a link to the video itself. That way you can give it a look. But what I liked about that story is it's literally how it's written. But just that part in particular was what triggered me loving the River Jack moment, the River Jack ship, mainly because that writer put that well a Rarity's point of view, her saying that well talking to herself mostly like but giving her thoughts to Applejack saying but you chose Rainbow Dash and you were unhappy, stuff like that. That was pretty smart there, but at the same time I fell in love with that ship, not with the Apple Dash. Like for me, the Apple Dash is not really that good because I just see way too much competitive. And if you're way too competitive with your partner, I really doubt you'll be able to to hear wedding bells if none of you are willing to drop your pride and actually listen to your partner. But all to their own, I guess. Some opinions are popular, some opinions aren't, some opinions are unwanted, and others are ignored, even though, you know, you should try to listen. But honestly, in the end, it's up to you. But in my point of view, I just can't support that ship because of that. I don't see much chemistry. I just see way too much competitive with each other and way too much arguing with each other to for there to be any romance. And here's my last opinion. You can take it hard or not. You can just ignore it, whatever you like. But if you say that when you see that much say that they're fighting like a married couple, but honestly, there's not really much chemistry. There's just nothing but fighting. Like one of the good examples is from the Amazing World of Gumball, where their neighbor is literally just fighting with his wife, even in their sleep. What on earth? Seriously. But if that's how you picture marriage life to be, and not really can't really picture any good moments, my advice is just don't marry. Just date, but if you like, but don't marry, cause you'll wind up hurting yourself and probably your partner in the end. But in the end, your choice whether to listen or not. And now we're back, cause I'm super thirsty. That was a big talk. Okay, question 4. when you were when you were writing the story, has it ever came across to you that wow, I love writing. Maybe I'll give this a shot. Or have you got more choices in the career field? And this is actually a personal question. Well, just in general for everybody, especially for fanfic writers. That is always something I'll ask them in interviews because it's interesting to know whether or not they actually have a thing for writing. And yes, I have a cup might be. Okay. I had loved writing before I had even joined the site. I will I will say though that writing this and a few of my other stories, such as A New Friend, I was reminded of why I love to do it. Before coming here, I hadn't write I hadn't written anything for a long while, and had even attempted to write. Something here I had even attempted to write something here in an entire year before, but failed after a rough start. Writing is something I am currently hoping to pursue in the future. And honestly, Pandaxxus, whether you're watching it or not, I give you my fullest blessings when it comes to that. Because honestly, I'm just a fan. I'm somebody normal, but and honestly, not nobody famous or anything like that. But no matter what, you'll always know you have Bovine Apple support here, and the support and blessings from Otaku Street, saying, "Go for it!" But honestly, it's up to you. If you would like to keep writing, just know you'll have fans right here, waiting to see what else you'll create in the future, whether or not it's fan fiction or not, or something original, to which will be interesting to read. Honestly, nonetheless, you'll always have fans over here. Next question is number 5. When I finished this, I felt like a meme myself, which I am actually saying the truth. Like that parody of Applejack eating apples and Ghost Domestic stating, "More apples." And it came across my mind that this guy, honestly, I'm sorry. I thought you were a guy. Look at you. Has got to have more stories. He, again, sorry, has written in this, has written in his free time. So the question is, have you ever written an original story or short stories that you're proud of? And if so, will you ever try to publish them? And yes, I put was in those apostrophes. He got a fan here already. Lol. Was my time away from the site, I've began ri- I've began writing for other fandoms, so I've definitely have been writing more. As for the original stories, oh, as for original stories, though, I am writing until I am satisfied with my growth as a writer before I'm ready to move forward to my own project. Before I'm ready to move forward to my own big projects. I'm still I'm still a I am still a growing young adult, preparing for my future. But in my teen years, I've faced a lot of obstacles that I would love to write about and spread awareness of it. I do appreciate your support immensely, so thank you. You're very welcome, Pandaxxus. And honestly, I say go for it. Even if it's even if it's a little passion, which goes for everybody, and especially young writers there. Have you ever reread have you ever reread or read at all of what you've written? Because I'm pretty sure if you get a lot of support for whatever you've written, like a fanfic, reread it. Then ask yourself this: why won't I try to make my own story? Because my other thing that I do like is from Team 4 Stars. I saw how they edited Dragon Ball Z Abridged and Final Fantasy VII Mucking Abridged or Mashima Abridged. But that's writing in a whole new level. But that's writing in a whole new level. And honestly, I really want to see what they can what they can create in their own original thoughts, in their own original plans, and their own original worlds. I honestly want to see. I would love to see where they'll wind up in the future. So honestly, ask yourself that. Re reread or read what you've done in the past. And then ask yourself, why won't I try to create something? Because that one small thing can turn into something huge, or a planet itself. And remember, in this universe, there's way too much free space, just as there are stars. So go for it. 'Cause like that quote from an anonymous person said, aim for the moon. Because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. True stories and true words right there. In most fanfics and others, the writer tends to break or ruin the characters by making them too much out of character by making them too much out of line. For instance, in some where the ships here we go again. In some where the ship is Apple Dash, they make Rainbow too much. They make Rainbow too much in the They make Rainbow too much in the They make Rainbow too much in the Why can I say that? They make Rainbow too much in the emotional or lovey-dovey side. These characters seem to stay in character and actually grow. Nice job in doing that. So the question is, how well planned and how did you manage to keep them in character? I found myself lost sometimes and thought that it might have been a part of the original stories at times. Part of the original story at times. Part of the original series at times. Like side stories and shorts. And also I gotta give appreciation. Cause she didn't just put like a random paragraphs or anything like that or just spaces. She actually put the numbers in as well. Which I honestly appreciate because I'm pretty sure if not giving anybody a bad reputation, but there are some people that will either write just a whole paragraph without any spaces or any what's it called paragraphs or putting numbers, and that'll get me lost. Like I said, no harm or giving harm to anybody, but yes, in the end, that's how some are. She put numbers in these. I'm very happy about that, and thank you so much. Hearing them up now, on to the answer. Hearing that my portrayal of the characters were accurate makes me extremely happy to hear. With the amount of time spent watching both of the series and the with the amount with the amount of time spent watching both the series and the Equestria Girls series slash movies, I did I did try really hard to give an accurate and enjoyable representation of the characters that we've grown to love. Character growth is something I know. Let me do it again. I did really try. I did try really hard to give an accurate and enjoyable represent. I did try hard. I did try really hard to give an accurate and enjoyable representation of the characters that we've grown to love. Character growth is something I know, I value, and especially within characters such as Dash, there is a lot of potential for growth to be shown. I wanted to also make sure that with someone as confident and unique as Rainbow, I also I want to also make sure that with someone I wanted to also make sure that with someone as confident and unique as Rainbow. Do it again, Charlie. Bovine. I wanted to also I wanted to also make sure that with someone as confident and unique as Dash, she doesn't lose her she does she didn't lose her personality or charms because she found a lover. And a side note, great job on doing that. It was a matter of It was a matter of really applying what I've learned to know about the character through the show to to the character in my story. It was a matter of really applying what I've learned to know about the character through the show to the character in my story, which is why I have a which is why I have a lot of dialogue in the piece. Which is why I have a lot of dialogue in the piece. Which is why I have a lot of dialogue in the piece. And oh boy, this is really a good one. Like no matter how I see it, those characters still they seem like actual teenagers, like actual human beings growing up and actually being like literally watching a documentary or something like that. No, not something like that. Like literally watching a documentary about character growth or an actual slice of life. And now I'm not talking about ones that Hollywood make. I mean actual slice of lives that people put and don't fabricate anything. It's literally that good. Like I'm being honest with myself. I know animation. I am willing to try and make this into an actual animation. That's how good the story really is. Now, here comes the feels. The question of the feels. There is one chapter that made me cry in the whole series. Another one that made me close to crying was close to this particular chapter, which was when Applejack made things right and saved her friendship with Rainbow. But the character, but the chapter that caught me by surprise and brought me to tears, which I'm actually gonna explain after the answer, was the one with Fluttershy. Although I'm a hardcore Fluttercord, shi- although I'm a hardcore Fluttercord shipper, I couldn't help myself and shed a tear when she was revealed when she revealed her feelings to Rainbow. That is where I felt the professionalism and grew my respect to you. What and how did you plan that chapter out? Oh, great. I'm starting to shake now. This question and opinion really means a lot to me, and I'll tell you why. I am a part of the LGBTQ plus community myself, just finding a place of acceptance in October last year. But I have like someone that is a very similar figure to Rainbow Dash in real life. Fluttershy's views and thoughts in that chapter really reflect how I felt those few years ago. And I wanted to show that things are not always the easiest when it comes to this, as it is portrayed usually. It could, it could, it could be really scary feeling something about yourself that doesn't fit society's norms, as well as admitting something to, as well as admitting something so personal to someone who you hope to keep close. I didn't get many positive reactions to this chapter, saying private messages expressing their distaste for the chapter, and it really let me down. So I deeply appreciate your reflection and thoughts. The fact that it moved you to tears really tells me something. Thank you. I couldn't accept myself being gay, couldn't accept myself being straight, couldn't even accept myself being bi. I didn't know what I am, what I was. I did. After that chapter, I gave personal thoughts that I deleted because even to this day I can't accept it. I am Pan. I am proud. I'm also Demi. I am proud. Also Ace. I'm proud. Just in general, it's hard to ever do something like this. To ever tell who you actually are to anybody, whether they'll accept you or not. That is what makes a difference between a reaction becoming a knife or a hug to you. For the longest time, I couldn't accept myself for anything because I was scared. And do that, I was torturing myself because honestly, I didn't know exactly. So, I lost my thoughts because I had to run an errand. But long story short, it is hard to accept who you are sometimes. It's going to be hard to reveal who you are sometimes. Nothing you see on TV will literally be real. Like those those shows, like showing, oh, you'll accept it no matter what. Oh, get out of the closet already. Everything's changed. Everybody's changed. Blah blah blah. No. Sometimes change is a fairy tale, but we can't let that. We can't let that make our fear grow. Sometimes fairy tales become real. Keep that in mind. Especially with the strength that you grow in yourself. That that itself is what bravery that itself is what bravery actually is. Not famous people coming out saying, I'm this, I'm that, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm straight, blah blah blah. Sometimes it's hard for me to literally follow them because hey, they're famous. They try to go with what's trending. And in my eyes, it'll sound bad, but it's true. LGBT shouldn't be a trend. It should always be a movement. It should always be a freedom, not the trend to what people are gonna use to be popular. I am finally proud who I am, and I'll never change who I am or who I've become. That's why that chapter hit me hard. And that's why Pandaxxus, if you're listening or not, that is why you'll always have the support, you'll always have fans, and you'll always have Otaku Street's blessing in your far future. So I want to say good job in making in making me reflect, in making me think, and making me actually give credit to somebody who's probably younger than me, maybe. Oh God, I'm an old man. Heading my 30s next year, quite literally. Other than that, I wish you a great future. 3 more questions to go, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends. So here goes. Question 8. When I first got the green flag to make the series into a video, which, thank you Lobo Orufu, I was glad and have it, I was glad and have it, oh, I did bad there. I was glad and give it my all. There were some where I personally feel that I could have done better, like chapter 1, but I do hope that you enjoyed them, and that is, I hope that is also an inspiration to continue with your work, or on separate projects. Number and the responses, I think you did a good job. Oh, I thank you. I could definitely see the work you put into it and the dedication you had pushing out the entire series. I'll definitely stick around to see future projects. Your work here alone has given me the motivation to your work alone has given me the motivation to finish slash continue Dash's Little Big Problem. So thank you, Heart. Ah, that's you're welcome. You're very welcome. But to tell the truth, for That's a Little Big Secret, I really am gonna try my all, like more than how I've done others. Someone to Love season 2 will definitely have my all as well. I've learned, I've studied, both self-studied, and tried my best to do as much as I can on editing and other things. So as I was saying, for Dash's Little Big Secret, oh no, for Dash's Little Big Problem, I'm honestly gonna give it my best, cause those chapters they deserve to be shown more appreciation, more dedication, and definitely more work given on the passion that I have to making these videos. And I don't really get much views or anything like that, or recommendations from YouTube anyway. Thank you, whatever YouTube. But it doesn't really bug me because I find these more of a stress reliever, even though I actually yell at myself going, "Oh my god, way too much editing. Oh god, what am I doing? No!" I still love these. I love editing. I love directing. And I hope to actually go on others videos, that way they can I can be I will have given a chance to be advertised, like saying go on Otaku Street, give them a shot. Pretty good voice actor there. Although I don't think I am. Whatever. Overall, thanks for the comment. Makes me happy. Wasn't really a question, but more like actually kind of was a question. Like saying, did I did good? But in the end, I did. Thank you. Thank you very much. Number 9. Was all the fandom was all that the fandom offers. How close to the characters did you feel, and how much has the series helped you in your own life? This is actually a good question because here's a I'll I'm gonna open up to something personal too after the answer. This fandom this fandom has definitely given me a lot. I discovered a love for singing through the songs in the show. I started writing again and have never stopped since. And I even discovered a slight liking to voice acting. There's a slot open in Otaku Street. Help wanted. I'm sad to admit that I haven't been too focused on the show for a while now. me being more into a different fandom and path. But this show really did serve as a source of happiness slash comfort when I was working through really tough things in life, such as severe anxiety without even knowing how to deal with it. I'm glad I was able to enjoy it with a community that was so creative. I accomplished and attempted a lot of things. I never thought I accomplished and attempted a lot of things I never thought I'd do I'd do before do the series. This is something good because as y'all saw in the opening I did for That's a Little Big Secret, I did it for my brother, my soul brother. He's serving in the military, and he was a huge brony. He still is a brony now, but he was a very huge one back in high school when he was able to watch it. But I feel bad now that I'm a fan because, in a way, I kind of no, I did. I condemned him for liking it because it was a girl show. But what made me like the show was the writing, especially the writing in The Perfect Pair. That was what got me into the show. And the characteristics of everybody. And like he said too, the happiness that you get from it. That's what really got me into it. And honestly, I dedicated this for him for my show of thank you. For changing me. My thank you. For being a part of my life. Big Macintosh reminded me of my brother. And I hope to see you soon. We're always proud of you, Jesse. I hope you're hearing this. And honestly, always remember, you're loved no matter what. No matter who you love, no matter who you end up with, you're loved. And you have my blessing as well. And for the final question, what is your plan for the untold future? The future holds many roads and different paths. How how likely are you to walk forward and look back in your own work? Will you think back and go, "Damn, I made that. My work made me my work made a lot of people happy and inspired them"? This is something I want to ask the creator of Naruto, the creator of Super Mario, the creator of all the stuff I love, especially Lauren Voss. I would like to ask her that question. So number 10 is probably always going to be that same exact question. You're definitely right about the future. You never know what will hit you on the way. But you can look back and reflect on what you've done and learn from those experiences. I feel like there is definitely a lot to reflect on with my work. Comparing my most recent piece from today to writing in to my writing in 2019. I am amazed with the improvement. Looking at it all now, there's so much that can be tweaked. There's so much that can be tweaked and improved with the story. However, with the reactions I have received on all my work as a whole on this site, I can see how many people I've touched or just made happy in general with what I have come up with and wrote. My experience on this site has really reminded me why writing is so important to me, and even efforts so and even efforts such as yours. So give me those reminders today. I literally felt that coming straight from the heart, coming straight from a dreamer who should never stop dreaming, who should never stop in general. Just just as others, all of you, all of you writers, all of you creators out there, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop writing. Don't stop creating. Go for it. Even if somebody tells you stop, it's not good. Improve yourself. Just don't stop dreaming in general. Reality is a horrible, cruel place, but we gotta live our lives too. But what on earth is life if you're not gonna dream? That's just dead sleeping, if you ask me. Well, thank you again for your time, and I hope to see more great works from you in the future. Do you have any words or quotes to tell everyone? And the last statement of Pandaxxus. I feel like I've thanked you a lot throughout this entire thing, but I really want to express my gratitude for working so hard and sharing my story with the way you have. If I ever, if I could say something, I would just have to say, do what makes you happy. Why keep dreaming when you can't act on it? Even if it's something small or something that may seem a bit embarrassing, if it makes you happy, that's all that matters. Thank you so much again, and have an amazing day. Thank you, Pandaxxus. Thank you so much for allowing me to make your series into a story, for allowing me to have an interview with you. Even though it was just written and messaged, I still feel as if I was actually talking to you. Kind of was, but still, no matter how life is, no matter what the outcome is, no matter what comes next, how bad it is, always move forward. Even if you fall down or somebody pushes you down, get back up, dust yourself off, put your chin up, and wish whoever did that to you, wish them a good day, and then move forward without stopping. Thank you again for giving me your time, and have a wonderful day. And thank you all for who's ever watching this. Thank you so much for watching these videos, for sticking to the series. Please check out Pandaxxus profile on the site and give her support. Show other outdoors the respect that they should get. Give them good advice. And may you all have a lovely day / night / evening / morning. This was Bob Apples in the interview. Otaku out.